computer and it's recording. All right, so it says P is the 0.75 and L1 is the line with equation 3x plus 4y equals 16. Then it says find the equation of line 2, which passes through P and is perpendicular to L1. All right, P is the 0.75 and L1 is the line with equation 3x plus 4y equals 16. Okay, fine. Now they want you to find an equation which of the line 2, another line, which passes through P, okay, fine, and is perpendicular to L1. So what's the first step you should do? What do you think? Yes. Okay, so why do you want to do that? All right, so if you plug in 7 for the x there, and then you plug in 5 for the y, okay, is that what you want to do? Okay, all right. All right. So there's a line. You see this guy here? This is written like not so nice form. It's an ax plus by form. So let's first begin with, hey, can I rearrange that so I can at least tell the slope that it has? So let's do that. So 4y equals negative 3x plus 16, right? And yes, divide by 4, agreed. And now this is what is this form called here? Y-intercept or slope-intercept form. And what information have we gathered? Yeah, so our just because, so our gradient or our slope, so m is negative 3/4. We don't need this piece of information, but the y-intercept is 4 and the coordinate is 0, 4. Agreed? Okay, we probably don't need that, but we're talking about it. Now, that point P, the point P 7, 5, I got a feeling it doesn't lie on that line 1. Like if you would have substituted right here, this guy here, 3 times 7 plus 4 times 5, it does not equal 16. It would never equal 16. So we know it's not on line 1. It's just a random point somewhere there. Okay, fair enough? So we don't have to tie into there. But guess what? Line 2 does what? It's perpendicular to line 1 and passes through which point? And do we have enough information now? What would be the slope that's for line 2? What would it be? It's perpendicular, right? It would be positive 4, 3. Remember, it's the negative reciprocal. You flip it, I guess we could say, and we change the sign. Agreed? And we're going to be using which point? D. So P is 7, 5. All right. So I guess I'll say we start here at 1. And then here's the second part of our analysis. What form do we have to make a line for this? What is it called? Point slope form. Remember, while this here, and I guess I'll do it in red. I'll do it in red, this part. While this guy here, slope intercept, is y equals mx plus b. This form here is y minus y of 1 equals m times x minus x of 1. Right? And so what happens? Y minus 5 equals 4/3 x minus 7. Do we want to leave it in that form or do we want to simplify it a little bit? We should simplify it. It's only polite to do so. So we have y minus 5 equals 4/3 x minus, what's 28 divided by 3? You can't really do anything with it. So you just have to leave it like that. I mean, you want to make it to a decimal? Be my guess. And now, do we add the 5 over? Yes, we should. Yes, we should. I'm going to go ahead and scroll it up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and add the 5 over. Y equals 4/3 x minus 28 over 3 plus 5. I just spit on my tablet. Let me clean it. Now, do we like to work with fractions? But we should. In fact, we should see it as just something that we get to do, not have to do. So, do you want to do crisscross happy face? Let's do crisscross happy face. I'm going to do crisscross happy face in blue. So we have, I'll go ahead and make a little like this. Yes. So this will be x of 1 and this will be y of 1. Okay. Got it? No worries. So we got negative 28 over 3 plus 5 over 1. So what's 1 times negative 28? So that's Chris. Let's go cross. What's 5 times 3? And then we do happy face. What's 3 times 1? Okay, good. What's negative 28 plus 15? Negative 13 over 3. So I may go ahead and write this as y equals to 4/3 x minus 13 over 3. And that is in slope-intercept form. So this you could say is part A. Make sense? Go ahead. It's towards the end in chapter 1, the miscellaneous exercise. So this should be titled chapter 1, miscellaneous exercises. That's at the end. So I'll put it up here. Chapter 1. Well, I'm getting text to vote for people. Remember that today is election day. Roberto Alonso for school board district, endorsed by Governor DeSantis, Mayor E. Bobo, E. De La Cruz. And we'll write back, stop. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to vote for him, right? But I don't have time because I have to go to the whole year. All right, so that's how you do part A. Well, you know I'm going to test you on this very soon. Fair enough? Now look at B. It says, find a point of intersection of lines 1 and 2. Could you see that? I think it's a little bit too small for some of you. So we're going to find a point of intersections of lines 1 and 2. Do we want to do that? Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and go like this, part B. I'll write the question there. It says, find the points of intersection between L1 and L2. All right. Now, L1 from part A is y equals negative 3/4 x plus 4. This is L1. And L2 is y equals 4/3 x minus 13 over 3. Agreed? So now you got to find the points of intersection between L1 and L2. So one method is the method of substitution. And right now, my whiteboard is not, like, it's acting real strange. So I'm going to close it for a second. I'm going to reopen it again. And I'm going to open this guy here again. And I should be back where I want to be. Well, we have substitution. We have elimination. So I would pick what? What would you pick? Okay, substitution is, I like substitution better, but elimination is just as good. It's just, right now it's set up for substitution. because their x and y's are the same, right? When they cross. So I can just set them equal to each other. In other words, their y's are the same at the point of intersection. So therefore, negative 3/4 x plus 4 must equal 4/3 x minus 13/3. And then I'm going to go ahead and write 4/3 x plus 3/4 x equals 13/3 plus 4. And do you want to do crisscross happy face once again? I guess so. I'm going to use a purple this time. So, criss, cross, happy face. Criss, cross, happy face. But I got to keep the x. (13 plus 12). 16 plus 9. Now we multiply both sides by the reciprocal, right? So this is going to be 12 times 25. 25 times 3 equals x. You can see that these cancel. So x equals to what? Cuatro. The answer is x equals to 4. So now we can substitute the x. We can substitute the x into any of those original equations. Pick whichever one you like. It doesn't matter because they both should be the same. So if you're scared that you got something wrong, you plug it into each. And they got to give you the same y. So y equals negative 3/4 times 4 plus 4. So y equals negative 12 divided by 4 plus 4. So y equals negative 3 plus 4. So it equals to 1. So 4, 1 is your point of intersection. Now, those of you who are always suspicious of your making arithmetic mistakes, even though you might want to check that the other one gets the same answer too, because then you know for sure you didn't mess up. Obviously, this is kind of like a moot point, because if you messed up, then you'll mess up again. So 4/3 times 4. Oh, this is a minus. I don't know why I miswrote this. So we got 16/3 minus 13/3. And that's going to be 13/3. Sorry, 3/3, which is what? 1. So our answer is indeed 4, 1. That is the answer to this question. That is the point of intersection between those two lines. I expect you by next week to be ready for a test on this, among other things. If you can't do this starting like very soon, then you have no hope for the rest of the class. So you need to get your skills up there. Fair enough? It takes time. So your challenge is to be ready for that test that's going to happen next week. Of course, I'm going to give you homework. Of course, I'm going to review. It starts today, but we got to get there. And some of you will not be happy next week. Okay?
Good morning.
So I challenge you to get up to par.
Interruption. Teachers, at this time, please send down 11th graders, juniors only, to the auditorium, last name starting with N through Z. Again, teachers, at this time, please release any junior 11th graders starting with last name N through Z to the auditorium for their orientation. Thank you.
Be careful. All right, so let's give a chance for these wonderful people to go downstairs.
So they told me to get attendance for 3 because I got it this morning.
Okay. Be careful. Have a great day. So your last name is, and you're here. All right. Take care. You too. Victor is Victor here? Kenny? You're good. You were in the rotation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I guess for now. Ginebra? No Ginebra? Okay. All right, guys, let's go to C. So let's look first at the question. My tablet's on fire right now. It says, find the perpendicular distance of P from line L1. So it says here, find the perpendicular distance of P from line 1. I should just write L's of 1. Okay. And you are Ginebra. Okay. There you go. So we're just missing Victor. He's been marked absent for the day. All right. So what was point P? What was the coordinate to point P? 7, 5. Now, didn't we use P as a point for line 2? So in theory, I mean, I should maybe not be so lazy. Do you want to sketch this, or do you want me to do it on the Desmos calculator? Can you imagine this situation right now in your mind? Okay, so imagine line the first line. Where is it? Like here's the first line, right? Let's do this together. You know what? I'm gonna stop being lazy. All right. All right, so here we have the first line is negative 3/4 x plus negative 3/4 x plus 4. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna draw something here. Like that. Right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? 4 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 down. And let me use a ruler because I'm cool. Everybody who has a ruler is cool. But mine is digital, so it makes me even cooler. And this is line 1. This is a sketch of line 1, which I'm gonna write here just for your viewing pleasure. Now, line 2 is the other one next to it. It's 4/3 x minus 13 over 3. Now, 13 over 3 is like negative 4 and 1/3. Agreed? So if I had to graph that one, I'm gonna use a different color for it just because I can. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's negative 4 and 1/3 is the y-intercept. It's like here, right? Now I know that supposedly 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Bro, I made the line wrong. Give me a second. Just stupid, eh? I don't know how to count. No. It disappeared. Give me a second. Now everything I was doing is lost. Now I have to erase it and redo it again. I didn't even press home. Okay, so I have to zoom in here. Okay, let me show you my mistake. Yeah, go ahead. No, that's just regular stats. Yeah, regular stats. All right, so now, let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It was this one. All right, sorry. Nobody said anything. All right, now I use my ruler because only cool people have electronic rulers like me. Are any of your teachers using the Microsoft Surface? Why not? I'm sorry to hear this. All right, so the other one, oh wait, I should do this in red. I said I was gonna do it in red, right? Let me zoom in a little bit further. And now I'm gonna go ahead and graph the other guy. So negative 4 1/3 is like around there, and I have to go, according to the other equation, I should go 3 over 4 up, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, and it goes 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's do this together. 4 1/3, 4.33 minus 1 is 3.33, right? Is that right? Minus 1 more is 2.33. Minus 1 more is 1.33. Minus 1 more is 0.333. So this other point should be here. Like that. But then when it does it again, it's exactly gonna cross at 4, 1. You see that? So line 2 is L. I already wrote it. It's 4/3 x minus 13/3. This here is your point of intersection. Now they want us to find a distance from 7, 5. Yes. It's good? Okay. So they want us to find the perpendicular distance from line 1 to, from 7, 5 to line 1. 7, 5 is actually going to be on line 2, right? This is 5, this is 6, this is 7. 7, 5 is here. This is P. This is 7, 5. Now the perpendicular distance is just the distance between 7, 5 and 4, 1. Yeah, that's it. You see it? I went through all that trouble because I'm pretending to be a teacher. Mm-hmm.
When you find the distance and you complete the distance earlier, you come up with the distance.
Yeah, well, we already know that the line is perpendicular. So 7, 5 is on that line, and then you have line 1 here. So imagine you remove line 2, and you just have that point floating in space. You know that 4, 1 is exactly the one that's going to be perpendicular to 7, 5. Because every other one won't be quite there. Does that make sense? So in other words, you're going to find, and so I'm going to make an arrow from here. See this. I'm going to make an arrow there, and I said, find the perpendicular to P. So you're just basically going to go 4, 1, 7, 5. You're going to find the distance between those two. You see? And you don't see what I'm writing because unfortunately, this board cannot read my mind. Okay? But it should be able to. Imagine a world where the board can read your mind. And it starts drawing the stuff you're thinking. Can you imagine what's going to come onto that board from my mind? Like, what is a person thinking at any given time? What you're going to eat? You get angry at your teacher because they kicked you out of the class or something. And you want to roundhouse kick them. But you keep it inside, though. Always keep it inside. 7 minus 4 squared plus 5 minus 1 squared. And so that's 7 minus 4 is 3. 3 squared plus 4 squared. Look at these people. Marvelous numbers they pick for us to show us that we're on the right track. And the distance is 5. Can you do this? I hope so. Now, it's not always beautiful numbers like this, but does that make sense, guys? Listen, you have to practice this. Did I mess up? All right, talk to me. Yeah, in the middle. You can't make the middle one minus, but these had to remain. Okay. Any questions or concerns? It's quite a bit. So here's the thing, guys. Let me be frank with you. If there shouldn't be an issue with algebraic manipulation here. If there is, then that's one more hurdle you have to jump. So you're just piecing together a bunch of different skills and you're thinking about it like the way I did is I thought about it visually, not just step by step. And that's where you got to get to. And it takes some time. Some of you are already there, but a lot of you, in my opinion, in my experience, are probably a little bit worried that it feels like it's overwhelming. But I will remind you that what one idiot can do, so can another. That means I am an idiot. If I can do this, you can do it too. But it's how interested are you in this? I happen to be interested in math and science. If you don't have an interest in it, it's very hard for you to get yourself in a proper mind set to tackle these problems for any given length of time that you need to start developing some sort of mastery. And in this class, it has to be very quick because the assumption is that you've been exposed to this before. And you have, but perhaps not. I spit on my tablet again. But perhaps not at a high level that you need to be. And when I say high level, I don't mean it like really high level because a lot of people, and this is, especially good at math, this is not high level. I'm like, I can do quantum mechanics. I'm like, so what, bro? You can't build a car, can you? So that's my standard. Can you build an engine? Oh, it's just follow a recipe. Nah, it's not a recipe. You'd be surprised how many things. All right, let's do another one. Okay. Fair enough. Questions or concerns? I know it feels like I can't answer some of your easier questions. I should not have to answer what are negative numbers to you. Or like, why does -4 minus 7 equal -11? That's not a question I'm answering. Like, it's like, yo. All right. But by the way, and I gotta emphasize this. Those of you who don't like math, all it is you haven't gotten good enough to like it. That's all it is. You're probably maybe 50 to 60 hours of work before you're like, bro, I'm gonna be a mathematician. But you never know because you don't want to go through the struggle. I'm not saying that being a mathematician is a good thing. Okay, don't get me wrong on that. But what I'm trying to say is a lot of you cut yourself short just because you haven't put in the time or have a bad attitude or whatever it might be. Fair enough. Same thing with. I hope this doesn't fall back. All right. Oh my gosh, one of the screws is loose. With the other screw in the back. All right, it shouldn't fall over. Okay. So the next question. Look, my thing is empty now. Shut it off. Turn it back on. Okay, so let's do this question. It says there, find the equation, and I'll wait because this is starting again. I don't know why Microsoft Whiteboard is acting up today. It says find the equation of the line through 1, 3, and look what they did now. They said which is parallel. So it's same slope. So let's begin. We want an equation of the line that goes through 1, 3, but is parallel to 2x plus 7y equals to 5. So talk to me. What's the first thing you would do? Yes. And why do we want to turn it into slope-intercept form? Correctamundo. So this is, we can tell the slope right now, can't we? All right. So what is the slope? Our gradient is what? -2/7. And just because we're in class, what is the slope? The intercept, sorry. And what's the coordinate? The coordinate of the intercept is 5/7, 0,5. Fair enough? All right, so now, this is part one, right? So part two, we're gonna go ahead and form the line that's parallel to it. What would be the slope that we're using here for parallel slope? Parallel. The same slope, parallel slope. So the slope would be -2/7. And what point are we using? What point are we using? The 1,3. And then what's the form that we're going to use? It's called the point slope form. And it's y minus y of 1 equals m times x minus x of 1. So y minus 3 equals -2/7 x minus 1. And so we have y minus 3 equals -2/7 x plus 2/7. Yes. And then what do? Add the. And do we want to do crisscross happy face? Because we're dealing with a fraction? We could. I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to use the color rainbow. So, rainbow. 2 times 1 is? 2. I'm going to make a little rainbow cloud here. 2 plus 7 times 3. So that's crisscross. And last one is happy face. 23/7. And so now we have 23/7. So we have, what is the final answer here? Y equals to -2/7 x plus 23/7. Agreed? But look what they wrote here. It said on the top here, give your answer in the standard form. AX plus BY equals to C. I know. So, but let's just play around with this. Remember, if you're going to use that form of AX plus BY equals to C, A, B, and C must be integers. And A must be positive. That's the other requirement. So we have -2/7 x plus 23/7 equals to y. Just like that. So, yeah, well, I knew I had to do it, but I'm kind of comfortable right now. Now I'm less comfortable. And ta-da! So, can we have fractions? How do we get rid of that 7? Everything multiplied by 7.
Morning.
Good morning.
Is Victor on Sasso?
Let me check because I don't know the kids' names yet. But he's absent.
He's not there? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. So I'm gonna multiply everything by 7. So 7 times y.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is Kenny Hernandez there?
Hernandez?
Yes. Kenny.
Yeah. Kaylee?
Kenny.
Oh, Kenny, like from South Park? Yes.
He's there?
I'm looking at him right now. He raised his hand.
Okay, so yeah, because I have him in there in the no show, so I'm gonna take it off. So he's there, Kenny Hernandez, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Oh my God, they killed Kenny. Yes. Melanie, here you go. There she is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we're going to multiply everything by 7. So we have 7y equals -2x plus 23. That's what multiplying everything by 7 will do. It'll essentially cancel out the denominator, I guess we could say. And now I'm going to rearrange so that the constant, the coefficient in front of the x becomes positive. So I'll just write 2x plus 7y equals to 23. And I'm done. Yay. And I did another question. Like I need to do any more of these. Does that make sense? What I'm doing is modeling for you. If you have a question, by all means, ask it. Make me work a little bit. You guys went to the gym this morning? I see. I was trying to convince myself to go in the afternoon this morning, but I realized that it was just me not wanting to go to the gym at 4:40 in the morning. I was telling myself I'm in shape. I don't need this, right? I went. I did legs. It was a leg days. That's why I didn't want to go. Nobody wants to go on leg days. Yeah. When you're younger. For me, it's like, oh my gosh, here we go again. And it is raining. That's not good. Hope it's not raining Coral Gables. All right, guys. So let's continue. I got 2 more examples to go over. Does it feel like I'm being thorough enough for you each step? Now, if you're lost, then I don't know what to say. There's not much I can do. Can you tutor me? No, I don't have time for that. I'm sorry. I don't wish I did. I got a life, okay? Not a big life, but whatever. All right. You need to get on point. You'll be fine. No, you won't be fine. You'll pass my class, but you need to get your skills up, hopefully. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at number 9. Do you... Qué estupidez. All right, let me... Yeah. My wife copies some of my phrases sometimes. I started calling my daughter. I mean, I tell my daughters bro, and they're like, I'm a girl, don't call me that. I'm like, what I'm supposed to say, sis? Like, I don't know what to say. It feels weird. So I keep on saying bro. It says there, number 11. The points A 1, 2, B 3, 5, C 6, 6, and D doesn't give you the number, of course. Form a parallelogram. Find the coordinates of the midpoint of AC. Use your answer to find the coordinates of D. Now, you starting this question like right now, the only thing I'm thinking of is like, can I just graph this and see what's up? That's what I'm thinking. Make sense? Like, wouldn't you do that too? So do that, but you got to be quick about it. You can't be like, I don't know how to graph this. It has to be quick because you can't waste time. So this is A. That's not a very good A. I'm not even sure you can see it. Let me close in a little bit closer so I can be more. Oh, my A's coming out real bad. All right. You know what it is? I know what it is. Let me make my point on my digital pen a little bit thinner. Oh, that's good enough. So this is 1, 2 right here. And then we have B, which is 3, 5, right? B is 3, 5. And then C is over here. 6, 6. And then D, I'm thinking like if I'm connecting these dots and I'm going to form a parallelogram, right? Which is, I think, a type of quadrilateral. D is like somewhere here. I just don't know where. Agreed? So remember, there's a quadrilateral, bless you, which is a 4-sided what? Polygon. But there's a square. But a square is a 4-sided polygon, all sides equal. And not only that, 90 degrees, right? But then you have a rectangle, which is 2 sides equal and has all 90 degrees. But then you have a parallelogram, which is like a slanted square, but has opposing sides parallel, which forms it looks like this. But if it's a rhombus, it's a parallelogram with all sides equal. Right? Okay. I can erase this because it makes everything look uglier. Go ahead. That's why we're doing this question right now. I'm going to write it for you. The midpoint formula was this question. Huh? Yes, we should use the formula because what they want you to do, here's their strategy. They're like, yo, find this guy here. But I want you to think if that makes sense. So they want you to find the midpoint between these two so that you can find D, who's somewhere over here. Right? Now let's just think about it. How on earth would you use that midpoint? So let's just find it first, and then let's work on it. So we have midpoint, right? The midpoint is x of 1 plus x of 2 divided by 2, comma, y of 1 plus y of 2 divided by 2. Agreed? So that's going to be 1 plus 6 divided by 2. And then we have 2 plus 6 divided by 2. Right? So then you have 7 divided by 2, comma, 8 divided by 2. So 7 divided by 2, comma, 4. So that's this guy here. This is going to be, the midpoint is 7, comma, 2, comma, 4. Okay. I don't know. Doesn't feel like all right, so let me tell you my thinking. There's a few thoughts I have in my mind. I can make a line like this here. I can do that, right? Yes?
Isn't the point C isn't supposed to be the higher up? Six, and it's like 8 comes to the
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of like, I know, maybe if I made a better graph, it looked better. Yeah, I agree with you. It's 3.5. I'm like, it looks like I'm at 3 exactly. Yeah, it should be 3.5 over 4. Yeah. I can make a line maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't care either. I'm playing around. Let's just think about it for a second. Okay. Like, what do you know? What do you know about the slope of this line and this other line here? That they have to be what? Parallel. So could you find this guy here? Let's just play around with this. So let's find that slope. Let's see. So we're going to find the slope. It is confusing, but let's do it together. Maybe after we're done, it's not as confusing. So the slope is going to be, well, 6 minus 5 over 6 minus 3, which is 1 over 3. Great. So now you know that the slope, so the slope for 1, comma 2 and the D, let's just call it X and Y. You know that if you did this, if you did Y minus 2 over X minus 1, it would also give you 1/3. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't it give you that to you? Wouldn't I have to give it to you? Okay, fair enough. So, I mean, obviously right now I can actually do a line for that, right? Like I can go ahead and I can do this, I think. I can write Y minus 2 equals 1/3 times X minus 1. And that's like, you see that. That's a line. That's this line here. Right? And I think I can do a line for this one too. And where they intersect, see, if I did a line for this guy, which I did. And I do a line for this guy. Where they cross, wouldn't that be the missing D? You see it? So I'm going to do this line is this guy, right? Y minus 2 equals 1/3 x minus 1/3. Then I add the 2 over. I know I'm running out of space. So let me just be lazy and do this line here because I don't want to drag that over. But I made an arrow, so you shouldn't get confused. But you're going to get confused anyway because that's who you are. And so we have y equals 1/3 x minus 1/3 plus 2. And you're going to fix that by doing crisscross happy face because you're cool. So it's 1/3 x. Crisscross happy face. So we got -1 plus 6, right? Which is +5 over 3. So that's this guy here. And then now, so I'm going to go ahead and, you know that this here is that up there. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this in red because up there it's in red. And I'm going to take the midpoint, take B, 3, 5, take the midpoint, 7 over 2, 4. And then I'm going to do the slope for that, right? Slope for that is m equals 4 minus 5 divided by 7 over 2 minus 3, which is not pretty at all, right? 4 minus 5 is -1. And then we have like 7 over 2 minus 3, which is like, come on. So I'm going to go ahead and go 7 minus 6 divided by 2, which is what? Which is half. 1/2. So now this becomes -2. Oh, yes, I can. So now this is -2. Do you see that -1 divided by half is -2? Right? Because -1 divided by half is -1 times 2. You see that? That's why. Now, do you have a slope? Do we have a point? Yes. So we have the slope is -2. I should do this in red. I'm going to pick a different shade of red, like a purplish red. M is -2. I'm going to pick B as the point, 3, 5. Do you agree? I can make a formula for that. Y minus 5 equals -2. Our equation for that, correct word to say. Y minus 5 equals -2x plus 6. Add the 5 over, y equals -2x plus 11. So now I have an equation. I have two equations. I have the equation for the lower part of the parallelogram, and I have one for that diagonal, don't I? And so now, don't I want to find the intersection? Because the intersection would be D, wouldn't it? I have this guy who is, I'll just kind of draw like a schematic here. This guy is this guy comes here. I should actually use that color. This other guy here, up here, is this guy. So you have this guy and you have this guy. And the intersection is going to be D. Can I find the intersection? Yes, I can. You have, I guess I could say line AD. Look what it did. AD, which is what? 1/3 x plus 5/3. And you have now the diagonal line, let's call it BD. Because it does meet down here. This is B, this is A, this is C, this is the midpoint, which we don't care about anymore. Right? And now we can set them equal to each other. And I should write Y. So I'm being, once again, rushing because I'm trying to rush because I'm running out of time, because I'm always running out of time. Y equals 1/3 X, was it 5/3 plus 5/3? And this guy here is Y equals negative 2X plus 11. And then am I supposed to find the intersection between them? 1/3 X plus 5/3. I set them equal to each other, negative 2X plus 11. I'm going to add the 2X to the other side. 2X plus 1/3 X equals 11 minus 5/3. And so we have 6 plus 1, that's 7/3 X, right? Must equal 33 minus 5 over 3. One-third X plus 5/3, negative 2X plus 11. We add the 2 to one side. That's 7/3, right? 6 and 1/3. Sorry, 2 and 1/3. What's 33 minus 5? What's 33 minus 5? 28 divided by 3. Multiply both sides by the reciprocal, right? X equals 4. Now we found our X, so we can substitute into any one of the original ones and find Y. So we have negative 2 times 4 plus 11, right? So Y equals negative 8 plus 11. So Y equals to 3. So our answer should be 4 comma 3 is D. And that's our answer. Right? Yes or no? Maybe, sort of, kind of. I think so. Now, what was the slope, guys? For the second line, was it negative 2? What was it? It was negative 2, wasn't it? So you could have, I mean, you could have done it this way. You're kind of like, yo, the slope is negative 2, so I can just go 1 over, 2 down, and 1 over and 2 down, and that's it. But you would have to justify it. Got it? So let's say you got to this point here, you figured out that slope, like you would have, like when you got right here to this part, you could have, I mean, it's not always nice that way, but it happens to be this one, it's nice. You could have figured it out that way, but let's just speak the truth. Did we do everything in this problem that I've done in the other problems? Well, we added midpoint to it. We found slope. We found the intersections of 2 lines. And I feel like that was the spirit of the question. It looks hard. But what I can say is that if I can do it, so can you. You have a bored face, like sad face. It's bad. Yes. Yeah. So let's say I'm gonna test you next week. So I'm gonna give you homework. So you're gonna get to go and like work on this at home. And then you're gonna come back here and you're gonna either say, I have questions, or I couldn't do it, or whatever. And I'm like, if you say I couldn't do it, I'm like, so what? Try harder. But again, can you clarify? This is how far I got. And then I start doing it again, and then you're just supposed to come here and perform on a test, hopefully. And that's it. So I'm gonna give you more review, but guess what? I just did this on the board and you copied. Guess what you have to do? You have to do it on your own. You have to do it. You have to be able to grab a question on your own and just do it. That's the measure of whether you understand this or not. And it's just practice. That's all it is. That's all it is. So I'm gonna end the recording on that note, and I'm gonna put it right now onto the internet. So I do that now, and then I'm going to put the